was just a blank life. Life doesn't like losers. I'm afraid to earn the money.
Them rejected me. You don't have anything to dream about.
You're the man.
Seems like a fraud.
What can I do to support my family?
If someone died, what if I can't repeat it?
To see myself happy. Why do people ask me how I am? Hello, everyone.
Hi. Welcome to the MNPreneur channel. Here I am, Sophia, a host of this podcast, and this is beautiful Shala.
Hello.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Shella, yes, it's Shella. Not Sheila, not Shayla, not Shula, not Shella. It's just Shella, plain.
So, Shala, what do you do for a living?
Living?
Yeah.
I'm a full-time, wonderful wife. And in my passion, I'm a blogger that's still learning, still looking for herself, and a photographer. For 5 years, I've been a photographer, self-taught, and just passionate about it.
Let's talk about immigrant in USA, because that's a huge topic.
Yes.
And, you know, like being an immigrant means a lot because I'm from Ukraine.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people from all over the world in USA. And I know the statistic that like entrepreneurs are mostly immigrants in USA because I don't know why, but American people just doesn't want to build anything. They just do where they are. So tell me about your experience being an immigrant in USA, or even like, are you considering yourself as an immigrant in USA?
Well, my story is a little far more interesting. I wish it would be, you're from Ukraine, you're from America, you're from some country in the world. I call myself an international child. So I was born in America. I got a couple of years in America. I went to preschool. I went to first grade, second grade. And then my parents decided that it's about time that we go back to Ukraine. So we go back to Ukraine. Me as a small child that doesn't know how to speak Russian fluently, doesn't know how to read, how to write. My parents give me like to a teacher for 3 months on summer. So summer for like 5 days a week, I will be studying how to write, how to read. And that was, I was only going to third grade.
I can't imagine.
I still remember the stress. I still remember the room, like the door, like the doors were shut, the windows were shut. And like, I will be trying to like write with the pen because in America, we would always write with the pencil.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, you have to write up with a pen. And I ask my teacher, I'm like, what if I make a mistake? She's like, you can't. And me, like a third grader sitting there, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the most stressful time of my life.
You know, I can't imagine like learning Russian when your first language is English, because Americans, like, they always say, how you do that? Like, how it's possible? Because like Russian or Ukrainian for them is so hard.
Oh,
it's so complicated. And they like can't imagine how you can like actually speak like 2 or 3 more languages.
I haven't a clue. You just have to go to Ukraine or to, and you have to speak it, and you have to live there for 10 minimum years, and that's where you're going to catch up the language. Yeah. So then I stayed in Ukraine for third grade, and after third grade, my parents decided again that it's time to go back to America. So I studied in America for fourth grade, and in the middle of fifth grade, my parents again decided to go back to Ukraine, and from middle of fifth grade, I was already in Ukraine. So I finished school, I got my bachelor degrees, I got married. And like, it was a really fun childhood because like I grew up in 2 different cultures. As for me, like I have a specialty with my eye. Like I'm not typical for everyone. And as a growing up girl, I had a lot of insecurities. But the most thing that I think that gave me these insecurities was living in 2 cultures. Because in America, I was a regular girl. No one even cared about it. I was like typical, never had an issue. But when you were coming to Ukraine, a country that is like just came out of Soviet Union, I was an American girl. My name and my middle name and my last name were not typical for Ukrainians, and my eye was not like, for them I was a monster. So in America I was a normal girl, but back when you come to Ukraine, you're a monster. And for me as a child, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, am I a good person or am I a bad person? And I always tell people, like, that's the thing of being the first child. Being an immigrant, like when me and my husband came here, it's almost already 2 years. I can't say like I didn't know America because I've been here. And I have like a cheat code. I had my family here. I had my relatives here. And I was not alone as most people that came to this country. And I can only imagine how hard it was, because even moving back to America permanently with my husband, it was really hard. When we moved here, I was in depression for minimum 8 months.
And how did you solve it?
I don't know, just at some point, I was like, I don't like where I am. I just have to get up. I have no one to blame. I have to start working on myself and just go out. It's hard, it's complicated, it's life. Just stop sobbing there, stop being in depression, put yourself together and just go out there. My husband, like, I can talk more of my husband because it was his first time here. As I looked at him and saw how he was getting like into the culture, it was hard. It was hard. He was always asking me, like, why do people ask me how I am? He's like, I just want to buy soda. Don't ask me how I am. You don't care about me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's just the way of the culture. You have to answer like this, like this. He's like, no. Why should I answer? I'm like, okay, I can see that Ukrainian inside of you, like, no. And the culture is totally different. How kids are raised here is totally different.
Yeah.
The system is different. Okay, when you come to America, it's not just like moving to Europe. This is a whole different country with its own mentality, with its own ways, the ways they think, the way they dress, how they eat. And you as a Ukrainian, you come here and you just feel like you're nobody. Mm-hmm. That was probably the worst feeling, coming to a country. While I did have someone here,
Yeah.
I just felt that I was not like reborn. I have nothing. I have no connections. I don't have like childhood friends. I don't have friends that I grew up on the streets, because the people that I did, they're all like, you can't make connections living here 1 year in America, 1 year in Ukraine. And like, you come here and you're like, I'm not 12 anymore. I'm a married woman. And I understand that you have to build so much things and you don't know where to start.
Yeah, I get that, because I know that feeling when you came here and you like on zero level.
I don't think on zero. It's like minus 25.
No, like, and we went to the church. It was like fancy American church with a lot of people, and they are like, they have lives.
Yes.
They have like houses. They have children, a lot of children, like 4 or 5. It's a minimum. They have like fancy cars, like 2 or 3 in the family, and you have nothing.
Uh-huh.
And I know that this is the wrong thing, but you can't help but like compare your level and their level.
Of course.
And that was so frustrating, like first 6 months, because we didn't have like work permission when we get here, and we needed to wait like 6 months until we get it. And I was applying for the job like before I get the work permission, because like at the moment when I get the documents, I wanted to get a work. But I applied for maybe 100 positions. I get through like maybe 20 different interviews.
Wow.
And all of them rejected me. I think that's like one of that motivations that people have here to build their business.
Yes.
Because as I said before, like most of them are immigrants, and maybe because like society didn't, I don't know, accept them.
Yes.
They just started a whole new thing.
That's how they have to survive, because you want to get a job. Do you have a bachelor's?
Yep.
Oh,
Master's degree.
I know. I'm like, oh no, we don't accept it because it's not American or some kind. But you're like, but I studied back in Ukraine. Like, I have my master's degree. I went through hell like everyone else did.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you can't go to school, go to college. Oh, okay. So it's like minimum 30,000 debt. And you're like, no, probably I can't. And that's why immigrants, they're like, we have to turn on our brains so we survive in this. I'm really grateful when we came here and I was like in depression, because my husband had to go and work on construction. He never worked on construction. He's a smart guy. He works with his head. He's a computer guy. And he had to go because there was no other opportunities.
My husband was working on landscape.
Yeah. And like every time I saw him come home, he was so like, it was not him. And I'm like, I can't allow you to work there. I just can't, because like he got his back pain back. He got so much like health issues in 3 months. And I'm like, okay, this job is not for you, but then God bless, we got another job. Like, we're really thankful for it. But still, we're not happy at the place that we are, because if you want to go somewhere, you have to be working minimum 10 years to grow up in the career, to start earning like $40 or $45 an hour. But when you start earning more, the taxes go up. And then you earn $90,000, but you pay taxes that you rather earn $50,000. And you're like, but that's when you try turning on your brain. You're like, what can I do to support my family that we don't have to live from paycheck to paycheck and be in debt? And when we came here to America, I'm really grateful that God sent us this one person. We were not in the best state, and we met some people, and we were at their house. I'm thankful for those people. And they had a friend over. He's a realtor, a really good realtor here in Minnesota. And I remember like talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I feel your pain that you're not in the wrong. Like, you don't know what to do next. Like, you have no clue how life is going to turn tomorrow. And he was like, just chill. Minimum for 2 years. Find a job that pays your bills. It's not the job that you want. Just chill. Work for 2 years, and you will find what to do in your life. If you want to work on yourself, you will learn. You will start understanding American culture more. You're not going to be bringing your culture into American, because that doesn't work. Like, you have to, figure it out. He's like, wait. And believe me, after 2 years, you will know what to do. And that's literally what happened.
So it's been 2 years now.
It's now 2 years. And now we're in progress of building 2 businesses, for myself and for him. And I'm like, but it took time for us to grow up. It took us time to get matured, and not asking for someone's help, not blaming someone that we can't do anything, or like we can't prosper. We have to work on ourselves. It's our lives, not our parents, not our relatives. No one's going to be helping us. We have to learn and study. And after we did that, the life just started growing. And I tell it to every single person who comes to America. I believe personally that America is one of those countries. If you want to become rich, you can do that. And it doesn't take too much. It just takes time, patience, and you will get there. And I'm like, if you have the patience and you have the time and you have the will of working hard, you can achieve any goal you want. And America is one of the best countries for that. It's hard, but at the end, it's worth it.
So, like, how did you figure out what like business you should do here?
It's just time. It just came naturally. We were just living our lives, and we were always thinking. We were always thinking like what to do. And we discussed a lot of different variants. Like, me and my husband, we have a time when we brainstorm. I'm like, what do you like? Imagine we can do this. And we would start like, would this go? Would this go? Well, like, what about this idea? What about this? Maybe in construction, this, maybe in IT, this, maybe like in art, this. And we would be thinking, I think we went through like 100 ideas. And then at one point, I believe it was like 6 or 7 months ago, my husband was like, what do you think about this idea? I'm like, I like it. I really do. I feel it in my heart. I'm like, it might work. Let's just pray over it and let's see how it works.
Are you still going to be a photographer?
Yes, I am.
So my next question will be, how are you going to like mix it all like, well, in your timeline?
My job is my job. His job is his job. I'm going to be helping with what I'm good. It's video and photography and going through the social media I'm his personal marketing girl that doesn't get paid, but it's okay. But he's going to be doing his job, and it's not relevant to me at any point. But for myself, I just found myself that I'm in the state that I just don't know who I am. I want to be a photographer. Okay. But there's rules.
Yeah.
If you want to be a photographer, you have to be doing this. And I've been playing for the rules for about 5 years. And I understood one thing, that it's not working for me. The way how I'm supposed to be, how people see me as a photographer, I don't like it. Because my heart was always on helping people. Like, my heart is to be with the people, help them. I don't know how. I don't know which way. And I understood if I want to be helping people, even like reaching out, I don't know, I have to start from myself. And that's when 9 months ago, it's almost like I'm giving birth already. Already 9 months passed since I started to work on myself. I don't know, I went through depression when we came here. Everything normalized. And like, it was just a blank life. There was nothing special. We were just like surviving from day to day. And I remember just at one point, it got so critical to me that I'm like, I don't like where I'm at right now. And I don't see my future. I don't see, like, I just lost it completely. I would be just waking up, being grateful that I woke up, go to bed, and that's over. We're done. And I was just like, this is the time that I have to change something. Not my husband, not my parents, not the society, not the country, not the culture, nothing. Something has to change in me. And that's where like this thought of the change got planted. I had no clue what to do. It's not like the seed got planted. I'm like, oh, I want to change my life. And the next day I wake up and I'm like, oh, everything happened. I have all the knowledge. I'm so no, it did not. I really wish it did work like that, but it doesn't. And like I started thinking, I'm like, what can I change for myself? And that's when I saw a recommendation on a YouTube short, like books for growing yourself. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. And I just found I got a book and I started reading it. I'm like, oh, that's fun. I didn't understand. I probably understood like 10% of it. And I read it and I'm like, okay, I don't understand it, but I feel like we're somewhere there. And I'm like, I'm going to read it again. I read it again. I'm like, okay, I still didn't get it, but I feel inside that there's something there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to it now. And I started listening to it. And that's where I'm like, oh, okay, then I probably have to start doing this. So I started step by step, baby steps. I started changing the way I think in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I started to be grateful that I woke up this morning. That was a baby step one. And then time passes by. I'm like, okay. And I'm still listening to books. So like every single day I'm listening to books. So like it became like my ritual instead of like watching videos or instead of watching films and that. I was just like, I was so thirsty inside that I'm like, okay, this is changing me from inside. And I just step by step, I started changing. And the hardest thing for me was I understood that I have to give myself every single day at least 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of sitting down and visualizing my life. Because one thing, we all hear about manifestation. We hear all about like wake up in the morning and say to yourself in the mirror, I'm beautiful, I'm rich, I'm that, I'm successful. It doesn't work.
You know, that seems like a fraud.
It doesn't seem, it's actually a fraud. It doesn't work. If you want your manifestation to truly work, you say it. Like for myself right now, I have the thing that I say every single morning. I'm so grateful and happy now that money comes to us in increasing quantities on a continuous basis. And the best part of it is I truly believe of that inside of me. So when you say and you want to manifest something in your life, it might be like friendship, it can be wealth, it can be like your dream job, your dream man, or like anything. You have to take the time and visualize it. You have to sit down and you have to see yourself like it's in the real life that you already have it.
But you can't forget that you need to work for that
No,
too.
it comes. I'm not saying. So how does this work? As I understand, like from my own, like how it's working in me, you don't know how to change. For me personally, I want to open up my business. For example, what kind of business? I have so many ideas, but that's how I started. I started sitting down and I started visualizing how I look, how I feel, what business might be. I didn't know what the business was, but I was seeing myself like I'm around people, I'm doing this and this and this. And I started doing it every single day. But it was so hard for me, in my broken mind, in my sick mind, not healed yet, to see myself happy. I was like, how me, person that doesn't understand like most of the things, I'm not good enough. I don't have the knowledge. I just don't have what the world has. Like for me to become a business owner, my parents started businesses all the time and they always failed. And that's how I grew up. And that's how I feel for myself. I'm like, when I start a business that comes to success, it stops. I'm afraid to earn the money. And
what if you're like, sorry to interrupt you, what if your new business will fail?
The thing is that I've learned also, there is no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as a mistake. You started a business. It failed for some reason. Got your butt up. You started it. Something didn't work out. You sit down and you're like, I have a goal. I want to reach this. And if it didn't work right here, I just have to switch full details. You switch those couple details and you start all over and you just go, but you already have the experience. You already know what to change and you have a really clear goal and you're just going there. That's the same thing. That's a really good question because that's what I was talking about not long ago with my husband. The business that I want to start, I want to launch. I got this idea about a year ago. It was just a crazy idea. I told my husband, I'm like, okay, we can do this because of this. He's like, yeah, makes sense. But where do we get it? How do we do it? Zero ideas, zero, nothing. I'm like, okay, it just kind of left as an idea. And that's when I started like my 9 months of transforming myself, visualizing myself like in this and this and this. And I saw in my brain, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to get. And the most amazing thing, the universe starts to shift everything around. It started because I'm ready for this goal. I am ready for this business because if I would have got this business and started it at least trying a year ago, I would have failed on the first mistake, on the first thing that it didn't work the way I want. So time passed. I have the product in my hands and it's not even close to what we wanted. Not even close. And I'm like, I got disappointed. It's natural, but I'm like, that is so amazing. A year ago, it was just a thought. And right now, I have the prototype. It's bad. It's awful. It's not even, but I'm holding it in my hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got so excited. Let's go further. And we started looking. It takes a month. It takes 2 months. It takes 3 months. But we're digging in because me and my husband, and personally me, I have a set goal, what I want to do. And on this way, yeah, it was a failure. It was a total failure. But for me, it was like, I learned. And now we're working with the second prototype. And we're still like, but now we know what to change to get it better. And the main thing is, if you want to achieve any kind of goal in your life, dream big, dream crazy. We can have whatever we want. That's the power of our brain. That's the power of our beliefs, of our faith. But the one thing that you have to believe in it physically. It's the same thing as you scheduled a meeting with your friend in a month. And it's going to happen because you believe in that, because you scheduled. That's physical. That's the same thing with any of your goals. You have to schedule, like in a year, I will be having this. You have to visualize it all the time. And the most important part that in our fast moving society, social media, the wealth is over wealth and like money is like so easy. It's patience. We plant a seed of our goal and we have to give it time to grow.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. You have to believe in it. You have to cherish it and never give up. And that's how people become great.
That's how I know what like client understands business and what client doesn't understand. Because when client hire me to get them like paid ads or marketing, whatever, and if they want a result like immediately, like in 1 week or months, no, you're not my client. But like the real businessman, real entrepreneur, they understand that the real result needs time. And like the minimum time period of working in marketing with marketing is 3 months.
Minimum.
Because 1 month you need to set up all things. Like to know the brand, to know the company, to know the audience, like to research everything, to, to test different things. And then 2 months, you need to actually test your hypothesis. And then maybe,
just maybe,
you will have a result. But maybe not. Maybe you will need more time to test something.
Yes.
And I really don't like to work with client who wants like today or yesterday, because it's really, really hard and it's frustrated. And no matter how much they pay, because like, okay, when you, launch the Facebook ad and you get them like, 100 a day or even 1,000 a day, it's not going to bring you anything.
No.
So like, what's the first step for people who want to run the business? What's the first step?
Get a goal.
What if I want to have 1 million revenue?
But in what? You have to think, okay, 1 million revenue. That's an incredible, and you're going to get it. You have to believe it. It's physical as this fireplace. That we have to understand that. I want a 1 million revenue. That's your goal. How can you earn that money? That's the next question you have to answer. I can do this, 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 this. And you start. You just start. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the knowledge in the world. The best teacher is life and experience. But you have to say, I want 1 million revenue, and I promise you, I genuinely promise you, everything's going to be shifting around. The universe is going to be giving you ideas. The universe is going to be giving you connections. It's going to be giving you, like, for me as a photographer, when I came here, my first thought, I'm like, oh, I'm going to become a photographer. I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. I'm going to be earning money from photographer client. That's it. That's all I'm going to have. But when I truly started understanding what I want, what's my purpose in life? Not what the social media tells us, not what the internet tell us that you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to be good at videos, you have to be good at marketing, you have to be a sex model, you have to be and like all of that. And when you truly stop listening to everyone, and you come down to the most valuable and nourished person in life, and you're like, Shella, what do you want? What do you truly want? I want this. I want 1 million revenue because I will be able to help people. I will be able to help support my family, my kids. I will be able to be opening businesses, and people will be able to earn money from that. From, as I say, life doesn't like losers. Life likes champions. And you put this 1 million revenue, and inside you're like, I can do this. Everything in the world is going to be on my side. And you just start doing it. You can start from marketing, and maybe a month passes and you're like, I want to do this. Drop everything and go do that. Doesn't work, you can always come back. But when you have the set goal, don't be afraid to experiment and go out of your comfort zone, because sometimes our inner voice, it can tell us the most craziest things. And you're like, and when you start listening to this crazy voice knows it. It just knows everything. And if you just follow it and you believe in yourself and you allow yourself to make mistakes, to be a human, the one that's not Einstein, that's not like, I don't have IQ of 200, it just takes time. And the most important thing, we're women. For me, it's personally, I'm not planning on building a multi-million business. Why? I got married, and I always,
But you still can do that.
what I want.
Okay.
That's what I think. That's what I say. And that's what I told my husband. And that's like our thing. I'm like, you're the man. And my view of a woman, and that's what I want. That's what I choose. I want to cherish you. I want to support you. I want to be by your side. I want to just be the woman that's going to be, I don't need the fame. I don't need that. I just want you to become great and big. And I just want to live the rich life. I want to go on the manicures. I want to be traveling. I want to be. And then when you have the money, I can open whatever I want. And I'm like, that's the life I want.
Photo studio.
Well, I already have. Okay, believe me, I already have a list for him. He already knows that on my birthday, what's my birthday present. Believe me, that's crazy. And like, we already have everything. I have everything arranged. For me, as like building a business, it's going to be for me, for my heart, what I want. But my goal is not money. Will I earn money? Of course. I'm not going to be saying like, oh, money doesn't matter. Yes, money matters. I believe that money doesn't buy you happiness. That's true, because the happiness is the state of your heart and the state of your mindset. But money can bring a lot of great things to other people. As an immigrant, what's the worst words for you in English?
Oh my God. So
Actually, I truly had a list.
I heard that for a lot of people, the hardest word is vehicle.
Vehicle? No, that's not for me. That's an
But
easy.
for me, the one word that I can remember is exact.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a hard word.
Yeah, because I always pronounced it like exactly. But then one of my colleagues said me that the right pronunciation is exactly, like with T. And since then, I'm so confused.
It's exactly. Nobody cares.
And I had this question for you. Is there any moment when your origin is like for good or for bad for your work as photographer or a businessman? Like, does it help you or no?
In America, no, because I never put it out. When blessed that my English is not the worst, and usually people can tell where I'm from, and they would be like, "Oh, your accent is so cute. Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Ukraine," and people would be like, "Oh, we're really sorry for the war." I'm like, "Life happens. I can't say like."
Okay, but I mean, like maybe your experience in Ukraine?
Yes, if you're talking about experience, American photographers and Ukrainian photographers, that's two different photographers, totally different. It's just it's like night and day. And the clients here are night and day with Ukrainians because in Ukraine, it's like really like I can't say like the Ukrainian photographers are right or American photographers are right.
It's just different.
It's just really different. Here, everything is just the same. Like when I look at photographers, they have the same presets. They all like work in the orange and the warm tones, or they work in the more washed white tones. Everything's mostly not like everyone, but it's like all super bright. Like all the poses are the same. Everything's the same. When you're in Ukraine, you get so crazy there.
Yeah.
The clients, it's not like working on like with models. The clients, they go to makeup artists, they go to hairstylists, they get like new clothes. They put so much effort in, and like they're like expressing. We're always creating something new. We're not just saying, "Oh, we want to take," like in America. That's how I felt when I came. That's like in my comparison. I can't say that it's true. It's just only my opinion. When I came here, I was trying to give my clients, I'm like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And they were like,
they don't need it.
No, I just want like a photo like this. I just want a photo like this. And I'll be like, why? You have these photos every single year.
I think that's because they don't have to impress someone. They just do whatever they want. Like
it's not even about impressing. I genuinely believe that photo shoot is for a person,
or they just don't know how to do that better.
That's the thing, because the American photographers, they just don't want to express and go out of the limits. They're all in the comfort zone.
Yeah, they just need their money.
They just want the money. They just went out and took the pictures.
Yeah.
And clients, they don't know anything else. And like when I take pictures for my clients, they're like, wow, we could get those kind of pictures. I'm like, yes. I'm like, they're like, how do you do that? We're not models. How, like, wow, who's that person? I'm like, it's you. And there's no Photoshop. They're like, how there's no Photoshop? I'm like, because you're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and most of the people that came to me, they're like, we're not going back to anyone else because, and even out of the way I treat my clients, they're goddess. They're the most beautiful creatures on the world. If it's a family, it doesn't matter. And I do it with my open heart. So when a person comes to me on a photo shoot, I want it to be the best experience of his life. I don't want to be stressful because photo shoots are freaking stressful. I've been to one photo shoot for myself and I was stressed. And I was like, I'm not going there anymore until I find a photographer that's going to be like me. I just want to be friends with it. I just want to have fun. That's what I do for my clients. And when I came to America, I did meet like a couple local photographers and they just told me, they're like, yeah, your style is cute. Yeah, your style is like unique. But if you want to earn money, you have to change. You have to be like what we give and like what Americans love. And I was like, I put so much effort in getting to the place where I was because I'm self-taught. I had to go through hell to get to the place I am. And I'm like, right now, I have to be doing what everyone else is doing when I'm a photographer, I'm a creator. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I'd rather take a year or two to grow up and show that what is photography truly about. If you go to a photographer and they take a picture of you standing and you can take this same picture on your phone, just put an edit on or a preset, why pay $500? That's the thing about like, I'm like, why? I see people doing better pictures themselves than when they go to a professional photographer.
That's sad.
That is really sad. And it's not that the photographers are bad or it's just America is more chilled, to be honest. Sometimes I feel people don't know that there's problems. Like they grew up in so many, like they had everything, while like in Ukraine and like different countries that are way, way lower than America. Soda, what is that? And people would be growing up like this.
But right now, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
They have everything. And even like when I first got here, Americans asked me like, do you have avocados in your
Yeah, we do have that. But you have
like, yes, of course.
Yes, you do. We do have it. But you have to be truthful. The level of America in level we do have avocados in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's because they started to grow earlier than Ukraine.
Ukraine's we're still behind, but still it's an incredible country. And let's talk about the medicine, the medical part. Ukraine was really great.
It's still free.
I know it's still free and still affordable, and we had amazing doctors, and we did not have to pay for the medical insurance $900. And you want the funny part? I've been thinking, what is in America a rich person status when in Ukraine it's a poor person status? It's something in the kitchen that in Ukraine every person has it, and in America that's when more rich people only can have it.
What do you mean?
It's stoves. In Ukraine, every single person has a gas stove.
Yeah.
And if you're more richer, you get the electrical stove. But in America, electrical stoves, like anything with it, that's what are for everyone. And if you have more money, you put yourself a gas stove.
Yeah, because you need like install it.
Yeah, it's much. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
In America,
I didn't think about it.
That's kind of copy. I'm like, okay, in America, gas stoves are like they're more expensive. When in Ukraine, every single person, like the house will be falling apart, but you have a gas stove there. Yeah. But if you have like an electrical, oh wow, you're rich. And the other thing that caught me, like back in Ukraine, we don't really have credits. Like buy a car in credit, like you have to have the money to buy it. If you want, like it's not that common because it's really expensive to get get a credit or something. And I remember driving with my husband. You go to Edina and you see all those like BMWs, Audis. You see like those rich cars, expensive cars, and I'm like, where did people get those?
You should go to Wyzada.
I know it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm just calling like the most. I saw a Bentley. I saw Lamborghini Urus. You see all those cars, and like in my mind, I understand like that car costs like a lot of money. I'm like, where do you get that money? And I remember thinking about that. What do you have to do in life to get that car? And then
sell your kidney.
No, and then
it's not enough.
It's credit. Yeah. They buy it. They get a loan for that.
Credit or lease.
Yes, or lease it. Yes, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, it can be your parents, it can be in loan, and it can be in lease.
But that's kind of disappointed. Because like you have this goal to have a nice car or
all
a nice
paid
house.
Out.
Yes, like, oh, I did something in my life. I have achieved it. But then you realize that, well, I can go to Porsche and like get this car today.
Yes.
Like, not really, but
not today. Yeah, not today. Okay, let's talk in a year.
Like it was a little higher credit score. But like I can't get that like tomorrow, and that's so you don't have to you don't have anything to dream about. The house, okay, not really regular thing, but you still can afford maybe like average house with a loan, and like, okay, what should I dream about?
And that's the thing about America, and I think that's incredible. That's what a good country is, and I'm really happy for America and now we live in it. That anything you have, you can have it. It's like back in Ukraine, if you have one car in your 3-generation family, that's incredible. That's literally you're rich.
I literally drove my grandfather car. That was he was disabled, so this car was turned out like to his needs.
Okay,
this was a car from government.
In
USSR, and then when my mom got it, like after him, so she changed it to like the normal car.
Okay,
and then I drove it when I got like my driver license.
See,
this is so weird.
It is,
but here, like since we got here, like we changed a couple cars already.
I know. It's crazy.
Just because it's just like transport.
Yeah.
It's not achievement.
No.
And
it's weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you have to get used to in America.
Yeah. But you know what I realized when I first got in church? I was in sisterhood.
Okay.
And the one lady on the table, she asked to pray for her husband who was going to turn 40.
Okay.
And she asked like to pray that she will get that like with calmness, like to really realize that he's 40 and to not like frustrate about it.
Yes.
And like to not get into depression or something like that. So just like that's another year. That's just the age. And I was like, we can do that? Like really? We can pray for that? I thought we can pray only if someone died.
That's what I want to say.
Only if like it's something like really, really bad happened. Here people they already have everything they need, so they get to like pray or ask or think about simple things.
Yes,
like they don't fight about money. They fight about, oh, you didn't say me hello.
I know.
And I was like, what? Like, really? That stuff is important for you? That's weird. But that's so mature and so wise.
Yes, that's true.
Like, I want to do that too. You know, that's what you said. Like, here or there, before the war, I was successful. Like,
Yes.
I don't know, maybe 6 months before the February of 2022, I was really successful and I got a lot of money and we were saving for our wedding and all that stuff. And I was so sad because I lost it. Like, I was so
Yes.
successful and then I fall down.
Yes, you lose everything when you come to America. As I said,
Yeah.
you're not even a zero. You're like minus 25.
But here, you really can like live the average level where you can like afford everything you need.
Yeah, just for life, like regular
just for
basic
life.
needs. Yes.
Not Lamborghini.
No, no, it's just like a car.
nice car, like-
Yes.
Average, okay, house. But you can get that without any additional effort.
Yes, just be a good person, work,
Yeah.
save some money, and you're going to be good to go.
Yeah, but there in Ukraine, you have to, I don't know, turn yourself like inside out
Yes.
just to achieve something that people here have, I don't know, from childhood.
Yes, that's true.
And that's crazy. That's difference
Yes,
is crazy.
it is crazy.
And the same thing I was thinking about my business and I failed maybe twice.
You didn't fail. You got it. You got expertise.
Yeah, like but when I first launched my marketing agency, I failed. Like my ads didn't work. I was getting like calls from not my audience, bots and all that stuff, and people who really like didn't want to work, and I don't know why they put their name in my form. And I was really, really sad because what if like in Ukraine when I built a business, it was a coincidence? Like what if I can't repeat it? Like what if like right now when I don't think about building a business, I just raising my child.
Yes.
I don't know, like working my full-time job,
Most hardest job,
Yeah.
raising a child.
and then like I got new clients just like that.
Because you gave the situation away and you just went with the flow. Because still in our hearts, we have goals. We have it. Like you want this. It's perfectly fine to become someone in this world, not just be a flair that no one will remember. And that's why when you stop rushing after success, when you stop comparing yourself to everyone and you're just like, you know, I have a child, I have a husband, I have things that I have to be worried about. And you just let go of the situation, but you still have a straight set goal. That's how what I said. The universe, it starts shifting all around.
Yeah.
And that's when you get new clients. That's when you get that. And I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, we can get whatever we want in this world. And the only stop point is ourselves. We don't let ourselves be successful, be happy, and get whatever we want.
Yeah, that's true. We can wrap it up. Just tell our listeners where they can find you if they want to, I don't know, photo shoot in Minnesota.
Or just talk to me because I'm fun, right?
Yeah, sure. For
Or
sure.
invite me to another podcast because I'm weird.
So tell people where to find you and we will, I don't know, leave links in the
Description below.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I have a TikTok and I have a YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, I posted only 4 videos, 4 shorts. And one of my videos already has 9,400. How do you say that? Okay, okay, a lot. No, it's almost 1 million views.
Oh my God.
I know. That is insane.
That's huge.
And it's on the most random video in the whole world. And when I started working on myself, like on my personality, on like visualizing and everything like that, I believe somewhere in October, I make, I probably, you too, I make monthly goals. Like for this month, I want to achieve, okay, my monthly goals are the most weirdest. It's like, I want to get 1,000 followers. I'm like, dude, doesn't work like that, but still. And in October, I believe it's somewhere there, I write down the monthly goals. And for some unknown reason, on the last goal I write, I want to be on a podcast. I didn't write with whom.
Really?
I promised you, I really wanted to find this paper, but I think
it was in your dreams.
that's and I literally, I just remembered that like yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. And I remember writing that down.
Crazy.
That's when I understood that. I was like freaking out. And I'm like, it was a goal back in October. And that's what patients take. I was like, I'm nobody. Who's going to want me on
I
the
have a
pod?
birthday in October, so this is a sign.
That's 100%. And you know what? I understand that I was only ready for the podcast right now.
Yeah, and I hope this video will get the same amount of views as Shaila's last video.
Yes, 1 million. We can do
Help
1
us
million.
with that, please.